Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode here on my single player carpet series. In the last episode we got all of the gear that we needed, which means that we're now ready to tackle quite a lot of different things post starter game. I'm of course talking about the Ender Dragon fight, but I don't quite want to do that just yet. No, I want to do what I actually enjoy most about this game, which is building farms, and I want to get all of the farms that I need to basically be prepared for once I actually come back from the end with the Ender Dragon. So essentially I want to have things in place that I'll be able to build upon once I've got to the end. A good starting infrastructure essentially, which means that I need to now tackle the second biggest redstone problem in the early game, or just in Minecraft in general, which is slime. Well, more specifically Slimestone, because I don't want to just tackle slime in this particular episode. I also want to tackle honey. I want to be able to have honey and slime, and therefore I can do pretty much all of Slimestone from the get-go. And that of course means that we'll be building a swamp slime farm to begin with. Then when it comes to the bees, I'll just breed them up and then get a very simple honey bottle array essentially. The details of the honey farm I haven't quite worked out just yet, but I have worked out the details of the slime farm. We'll just be building up one of Ilmango's swamp-based slime farms, so that will be very simple. I've already got the location, I've already got the materials ready to build it all up, so we'll get to that in just a bit. However, before we do that, I'm going to quickly show you what I've been doing off camera, and essentially you might have noticed it already, which is that I've been cleaning up a little bit. So no longer we've got the chest monster and the small little furnace setup. We've actually now got a new storage system. I say storage system, it's just a very basic starter storage system where everything's manual. It's general categories for different areas, so it's all multi-item stuff. I've done it so that I can stand in the middle, I can just go around every single chest and access each bit, and don't have to move from this spot, so I can just turn around, find all the stuff I need. And then I've got the brewing stand, the anvil, and the what do we call this, the cutting stone cutter, and the crafting table here in the middle, and then the bed. Then over here we have a basic furnace array. This is Ilmango's furnace array, so here we go. It's just here's one of his first furnace arrays, which is the in quotes perfect furnace array. So there's no minecart. The reason I went with this is because I don't have enough materials to do a minecart based one, plus only need 21 furnaces at the moment, and then in the future we shall build a much bigger one. But yep, for now it's pretty good. I've already filled I've already filled it up with some charcoal. I have noticed though with the fuel it tends to build up more at the front than it does at the other side, so that's the only downside I'd say to this. But the other thing you might notice is that this is actually quite nicely decorated, so I decided to put a bit of effort in this one and decorate it. And to be honest, I might want to start considering decorating the entire island here, so I might remove the mycelium with grass blocks, and I might put little facades around each of these farms so that it looks a bit nicer or more presentable from the outside. And then yeah, we're going to have to replace that with a proper food farm eventually as well, and then all these farms I plan to replace with more automatic ones, or at least starter automatic ones. As for the mycelium, replacing that with grass, I might do that as a live stream, and now that I'm actually able to do live streams, so yeah, that might be something you see in the future. And the other thing I've done is I've just added some little very basic decoration to the two staircases I have that go underground. So this is one of the entrances down underground, so if we will actually not do free cam, so if we come down here you can see that we get an entrance there, and we can also get to the villager trading area, at least the inner workings of it from there, and down and over here is just the mine shaft. So the mine shaft just goes all the way down there, so I've just done a little bit of decoration on it, not too much. And you may have also noticed I've removed all the mushroom trees as well, because I was using that to get all of the brown mushrooms I needed, and I thought whilst I'm doing that I might as well clear it all. So yeah, so I want to get rid of them, and then yeah, again, like I said, eventually might get rid of all this mycelium and replace it with grass. Yeah, it's a smallish island, so it's a bit more doable for my liking. Anyway, that's enough talking, let's get down to building us a slime farm. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I've been running the farm for about an hour and a half now, I think. So let's have a quick look at how much we got. And yeah, got quite a lot of slime blocks already just for only not even 2 hours of AFKing so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, you might be wondering why is it on the Nether side? Well, just because it's easier access. I've got to run from all the way over there to here every time I want to get slime. Well, whenever I need to transport slime over, what I've got is an autocrafter on the overworld side. It then sends the item through here, goes into this hopper, goes into this dropper lift into the chests here. Very simple. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it looks like we're going to be having everything above the bedrock roof. Actually, no, I don't. I want to actually be below the bedrock roof for pretty much the majority of everything. I want to have tunnels going everywhere. I want to build piston bolts or ice boat streams or whatever going in between each places, and then only being on the roof for certain things that require it, like transporters of areas, or depending on the situation. So for now everything's going on the roof until I get a nether mob switch, because yeah, doing everything below the roof is a bit more dangerous. So I would rather stay above here whilst there are mobs in the nether. I'm currently running the slime farm with a slime bot on the overworld side, and the iron farm is running as well, so I can replenish my iron. I did use up quite a bit building up that farm. Anyway, so that's the slime farm done. Now we need to build up a honey farm. So I've already got the bee nests I need and 2 bees, but I do need to actually start breeding them up and getting a specific thing. So I need to remember where I put them, so I'm just gonna stand in the middle, have a look. So I think I put it in miscellaneous. So I did. Look, see, this one's got 1 bee and this has got bee. So I'm getting these information from Tweaker Room. So if you want to know, at least in single player, how much honey, well, yeah, how much honey you have and how many bees you have in a bee nest or a beehive, then do it this way. Now, to get the beehives, I'm going to need honeycomb, but before we even do any of that, I need to actually have a breeding system in place, and I don't have any flowers either, do I really? Let's just have a quick look. Okay, we have none. Okay. Oh no, we've got a few blue orchids there. Okay. Probably not even worth doing a flower farm. Just go out and bone meal some grass to get some flowers when I need it. But yeah, we'll build up a little containment thing for the bees right now. There we go, glass box thingy with a bee, and the other bee isn't there. So now I need to go get some flowers, and I have a feeling I also need to make this grass or something, don't I? Oh, we'll find out in a minute, won't we? Wait, what the? How do they get out? There. Oh. Okay, that's not good. Leads. I have leads. I can use a lead. Right, where's that bee? There's the bee. Right, stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. No, don't fly away. Don't fly away. There we go. Come on, bee. Come this way. Yes, be a good bee. Come back in here. Yes, there you go. And hey, now it's stuck. And now I need the flowers so it can actually pollinate and start making honey. Hang on. I have a poppy farm. Okay, there we go, that is sorted, and now I've just got to wait for them to make some honey for a bit, and then I'll keep breeding them until I get quite a few bees. And yeah, I need to get honeycomb and probably actually no, mainly get honeycomb, and then I'll remove the bee nests and put the bees into each one once I'm able to. But yeah, that just goes to show that I completely forget about certain parts for Minecraft when it's just glaringly obvious. Iron farm, it also produces poppies. I never think of the poppies as anything useful, it's just excess, so that's why I went around and went to the plains biome and thought I'll just keep bone mealing until I get loads of poppies. But nope, I've got a ton, so I can use those to breed them up and get them up to being adults, and I keep breeding them up until I get however many I need. So to work out how many hives I actually need to craft and how many bees I breed up, I've actually gone into my creative test world for the series with this setup, which is about an array of 15 in each of these modules. There's two times of it over there, so there's four of these modules in total. Gives about 2.5 stacks of honey blocks per hour, and I'm just going to go with the standard design where it's a signal strength of 5 all the way around. If when I do a larger scale one in the future, I'll probably do something a bit different, so that's a bit lag friendly because this won't scale as well with all the redstone. Although I might turn on the carpet rule for fast redstone. There's a carpet rule, so carpet fast redstone dust. That rule there, it's lag optimizes redstone, so I might turn that on anyway, just because it's a sort of optimization in a way. But yeah, I'll have a think about that. Anyway, so it's going to be really simple. Glass bowls in here, the top, and they'll distribute along hopper lines. So yeah, hopper spam, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. And I'll build this up in the nether as well, so that it can run all the time, and I'll have it chunk loaded because this fits inside the 3x3 chunks as well for a chunk loader. And then over here at the moment it's just got carpets to measure the rates, but it will go into a crafting system that will craft it into honey blocks. And crafting honey is itself quite a challenge. So the recipe itself is simple enough. It's just 4 honey bottles put together and you get a honey block. So when it comes to crafting, the items come in like this. So they'll just get clear inventory. So when they come in, the items would, if we want to put 4 in, it won't be, we can just put 4 in from the dropper into the crafting table and it will be immediately the honey block. What would actually happen is it would be this, be 1 2 3 4, it would look like that rather than what we want. So like you do with the auto crafting table, you actually have to put in a dummy item to put in the place, and then you can put in all the honey bottles. So you put 2 honey bottles, a dummy item, in this case I'll use iron nuggets, and then 2 more honey bottles, and then what you got to do is you got to take the iron nugget out, and then you can craft the honey block. But the problem with the honey blocks is once you craft the honey block, you've got the glass bottles left over. So then we've got to get the glass bottles out, and once we get those out, we can then start again. So we've got all these different considerations, which does affect how fast we can go. And so I've spent the last couple of hours coming up with some different designs. So the autoCraftingDropper mod is by NameMobs, and he came up with his own design. And I looked at it and thought, okay, yeah, simple enough, does the job, but I want it to go quicker. If you want to see his design, I'll link the video in the description. You can have a look at that there. It's timestamped. So in NameMobs one, I think he did something like this, and then like that, rather than what I showed you where I did like that. So the general idea of what I wanted to achieve was to do it this way rather than the longer way which NameMobs did. I started off with this thing, which is complete jank, so I'm not going to even look at it. And then we have this thing which actually works, which is just trying to get all of the different bits of crafting working. And then I went over to this thing, which got everything more or less working, a little bit more compact. It's just missing a bit of a dropper lift with I won't go on to that in a minute. And then over here is the final design, which is the most as compact as I could get it, and it has everything in that we need, and it's completely automatic. It will turn on when it has enough bottles. It will turn itself off before it runs out of bottles as well, so that we have bottles buffered inside the crafter, so that we don't accidentally run out and break the crafting system. Did I say that we wouldn't be able to break the other crafter? Well, I was wrong. We we can break that crafter. So I had to come up with a bit of a different design in the end. Problem with this one that I originally showed you and said that was the final design is this bit here, which is the pulse extender. Now this is meant to prevent keep it staying on for a while once this turns on and off, and so it'll stay on for long enough for the clock to keep all the way around. The problem with this is that it's not very good against inconsistent timings. So for predictable timings, this is perfectly fine. This is valid. This will work as long as the it was a clock input that was perfectly timed. This would work. But for a non-consistent timing, such as with the honey farm, because the bottles are coming in at an inconsistent rate, this would cause an issue where it would end up firing a pulse before the pulse got back to reactivate it. So we'd end up going with 2 pulses going through, and we'd break the crafter, and we'd end up with like honey bottles out in the output as well as sugar, which we don't want. So to fix this, I've introduced a NOR latch. So I had to come up with 2 versions. The first one just making sure it worked, the second one a bit more compact. So here the input is now onto this RS NOR latch, so that when this turns on, it will power this target block, which will depower the torch, which will then depower this, and this will get repowered, so this will stay on until the next signal comes through. And if this is still powered, this will always stay on this side, so that way we don't have to spam it. So you could spam the input as much as possible, but this would still be, this would be a redstone just powered. It would never send a second signal in inconsistently. And basically when this is depowered, it then detracts the observer here, which powers this, which then reactivates the entire crafter. This is what I'll be using eventually, and I've actually incorporated it into the farm down here. Let me just turn the Lightmatic off so you don't see the square. So here it is incorporated into the final farm, and so here the bottles are filled up. So I'm gonna wait for that to fill up. This will then get it powered in a minute. There we go, powers it, and it crafted, and then it will turn off. So it'll come out of here and got it into a carpet. So if we then go to the counter, just to see right now, we see that over about 24 hours, over 24 hours, we're getting about 2.5 stacks of honey blocks, and then the rest are obviously glass bottles, so that will get feeded back into the farm. And so this is the final design I'll use. This is the safest one, and the reason for that is just this RS NOR latch. So I did sacrifice a little bit of height here, so I had to go up 1 more block for this bit there, and the wiring is a little bit jank for my liking, but this works. And so I think if I want to optimize this any further, I'll do that in the future when doing a future honey farm. But for now, this is perfectly fine. This works for what we need. It's more than enough. And here is the final design that I will use. I've added some extra bits in, so so the crafter's still here, but now I've got the iron sorters in. So I am actually sorting for both glass bottles and honey, even though they'll be the only things that come through. But the reason for that is in case of overflow with the honey blocks. So if we start having a full storage, then it can actually bin any of the honey blocks that we craft, and so it will go into this cauldron here, which is lava, and it's facing downwards. So that way we're guaranteeing to get it into the lava cauldron. If it's sideways, then actually you could get items spewing out everywhere, which I learned the hard way with the iron farm. So this is why we're doing it like that. So this one here is the glass bottles, this one here is the honey blocks. So honey blocks goes in storage. We'll only use 3 double chests for now because it's more than enough. 2.5 stacks an hour. We run this with this chunk loader, which we've got here, so we can keep it all loaded without a player being nearby in the nether for ages, which is why I put bedrock there, so indicate that this will be the bedrock floor. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, glass bottles, they will go into this bit, so and then go into this dropper, lift all the way down here and back into the main glass bottle storage here. So and then we've got loads of observers. I had to go with the observers in the end. I tried to do the torch tower, but it's too tall for that, so it ended up becoming a burnout clock. So I've gone with all these observers. So unfortunately going to have to go to the nether to mine out a load of quartz, but yeah, here's what it is. And the rest of it should be I should have all the materials. I've got all the slime blocks now as well for the slime farm, and that's the other thing. This bit here is a switch, so when we turn this on, this will turn the chunk loader back on, and when it will detract this, which then turns on the actual bee farm. So we've got a switch here for the bee farm. So when you have fence gates in, you can actually turn the honey farm off, and so when this gets powered, this torch will get powered. It will power all of the blocks here, which then opens all the fence gates, and all the bees will come out and start pollinating and getting honey balls again. And then when we close it, the bees will just be trapped if they can't get back in. So these ones need to, they can't get into the honey into the beehives right next to them. but they'll just stay here and be fine. And then then once we open it, all of them come back out again. So safe to do that in the Nether as well as in the overworld. In the end, if you were to go in the end, to build at the end. But yeah, we're building this in the Nether so that they won't hide away at night. There's another carpet rule actually that I might implement. So I think there's a bee thing. So let me just check what these are. Yeah, so I think I need to do that. So if I have this set to true, it will fix that bug. But anyway, this is the farm. So now I need to go get all of the materials and breed up all the bees, get all the hives, and yeah, that's gonna take a while. This has taken me far too long to build. I really underestimated how much actual work this would be. It took me ages to get all of the bees, for example, and it also took me absolutely ages to get all of the glass bottles. So just to give you an idea how many glass bottles we have. So all of these hoppers and dispensers and these chests here are full of glass bottles, and then we only have the first row, it was full but now it's not, of glass bottles, and that way we can ensure that these will always remain exactly filled up all the time. And it took me about 5 or 6 days to craft them all up, because I had to trade with the villagers to get all of the glass, and that took me far longer than I thought. I've gone through several double chests of iron blocks, and I'm very glad to see the end of this particular project. So to say that this is a starter bee farm, honey farm even, is just wrong. This is more like a mid-game one, and I've done so much trading that my levels are now at 223, so I'm very happy to see that this is done. And then this is from the last overnight session, so got plenty of honey blocks. And just to give you an idea of how many slime blocks we now have, this was already all the way full. Here we go. So I filled ran it till it was completely full, and this will run until it's completely full as well. But yeah, this is sadly kind of temporary, because I do kind of want to move it eventually, because I do want to have things below the roof in the future, and I would move the bee farm to a different location and have it be much bigger. But yeah, I'll be able to reuse these bees and use them to breed up the other bees, or I'll use a bee nest farm or something just to get the bees, which might be a bit more efficient. But yeah, this took me far too long, and the glass bottles took me even longer. I completely forgot about the glass bottles, and I don't have a glass bottle farm because I don't have a raid farm, and I was very tempted to build one, but I thought actually no, that would then defeat the purpose of having all the villagers for the redstone and all the other stuff which I wanted to do at this point of the game. Grinded away with it, and yeah, 5 days later have all the glass bottles. It was taking me so long that I even got 4 more librarians just to get the glass. So you see here, all of them have the glass trade, and I use the I think it's the Iron Scholar mod that I use it for this particular villager trading stuff, so that I can just press shift and C, and I will then be able to trade all my emeralds maximum for the maximum of glass that they will give me, which is I think like 12 emeralds to get 48 glass or something along those lines. But yeah, I did have to get the extra ones just to get through this quicker, and I'm glad I did, because I then got it quicker by probably about a day or so. Unfortunately, that is all I have got time for. This episode is taking about 2 weeks to make. I'm really sorry about that. I thought it would be a lot sooner, but the main achievement is the fact that we now have slime blocks and honey blocks, so we can build up quite a lot of things now, and we've got all the material sort of sources now for redstone stuff. I mean, technically quartz we don't have a source for, but we'd go mine for it, so it's not the end of the world. But either way, we've got most things, so we can do most of the sort of starter farms that I want to do, which will be the topic of the next episode. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I shall see you again real soon. Bye bye.